We are rolling, people. Okay, so are we ready? Wait. Fetch my pillow. Okay, we ready? Cool. So I'm trying to build a $1 billion company, right? And I've never done that before, and I don't know anyone personally that has done that. But what I do know is that later in my life, because I will do it, like it's a definite will do kind of thing. Later in my life, I will want to look back on the days before I made any money, before we had turned over any cash with the business, and I want to look back and see myself and what happened and the whole process of doing it. So that's why I'm making this video. And if that ends up being something meaningful to some random person around the other side of the world, amazing. Tutto bene. But if not, c'est la vie, huh? We carry on. And so, yeah, I guess this is the first thing that I want to do. And basically, what I want to basically tell my future self, this is basically me telling my future self stuff that I knew and thought about now. And so one of the things that is a big pusher is this really crazy delusion that I almost have around myself and what I can do. Like, it's crazy delusional. And so I go so far as to basically brainwash myself into believing so many different things about my abilities, all affirming stuff. So what I basically did is I looked at what other people were doing and what the general norm is, and it kind of gives me goosebumps. But the norm is that we make ourselves believe negative things about ourselves, but we don't question that, right? We don't question this delusion that we often have about ourselves and our abilities and our competency, which is usually negatively swayed. We don't question that, but as soon as we start doing something in the opposite direction of delusion, like saying, no, I can do a 4-year degree in 2 months, suddenly it seemed as delusion and crazy and what, you're out your mind. But most of the times when people are saying, no, I'm not good enough, no, I can't do these things, whatever it is you're trying to do, people just accept it. Like, what the fanculo? People just accept that. And that really needs to shift in your mind. Like, you need to really question, why is that happening? And so for me, I just said, cool, the negative is what people are genuinely doing as a habit. I'm gonna flip the inverse and go the opposite way, and let's see how that turns out for me. And so far it's turning out pretty good. Like, I pick up a new language every year. I did my 4-year degree in 2 months. I mean, right now we are 4 months into this open space of time I've given myself to build a $1 billion company. Like 4 months in, where I can just do whatever I want. And I'm hoping and praying that this week now that we're in, because this is Monday today, that the first revenue is going to come in. Like, that's what I'm working hard to get at. So fingers crossed for tonight, because I've got a few meetings. But like, it's insane. It is insane the trajectory that you can go on when you just start inversing the beliefs and just saying, I'm just going to believe positive stuff and optimistic stuff and things that are so outrageously like full of potential that it doesn't matter if people think I'm crazy, because I'm going to believe that and keep saying those words over my life constantly every day until that becomes a reality, and then we go for the next thing. So just check the time, make sure I don't waffle too much. And so that's a really big thing, and that's what pushed me to do the $1 billion company, because it was a question of, what does it require to build a $1 billion company? And yesterday I had this major realization of, like, it's not even about the $1 billion company. Like, I was a bit worried maybe 2 months ago, a little bit concerned, I should say, because for me, it's always been the visualization I've had in my mind was, if you can create wealth for yourself, you can create freedom, right? Money buys you freedom, but not necessarily, because there's a lot of things that come with wealth. And so from the people that I've spoken to that are, I would like to say, very wealthy in terms of the world's population, like people with $100 million net worths and up, they've got a whole different set of problems they've got to deal with. It's not like, oh, the car's broken down, we don't have money to fix it. It's, I don't know, all these different investments you've got to manage, or all these different, I don't know, trusts and properties and whatever. You've got a whole different set of problems, basically, full stop. And so for me, the question I was asking is, look, we can very easily see the prison, the trap of being in a 9-to-5. Like, there's a very real trap there, but could there be a possibility of there being a very real trap of expectation, of responsibility, of accountability when you get to that really wealthy level? Could that be there? So these are the questions I'm asking, because if you're fleeing from one trap, if you're running away, let's say that, if you're running away from something, it's quite likely that you could be running back into the same thing in just a different context. Principally the same, contextually different. That's what I always like to think about. And so I was very concerned about that. And what hit me yesterday, which was like, wow, that's amazing, is that by virtue of going after the $1 billion company as the goal, you're getting more than just any wealth that comes with that. You are getting this catalyst that is pushing you into a place of complete transformation and radical change in your life that most people can't even comprehend as being infinitely possible or close to being possible. That those things you get by the journey, whatever, are things you can only get by pursuing such an audacious goal. So it's like you need to go for the big, shoot for the stars goal in order to get those results, or that value that comes, that intangible value that comes along the way. So the tangible value is the cash, amazing. The intangible value is the incredible self-development and self-growth and growth of character and integrity, ideally, that comes with that process. So that gave me a lot of peace yesterday when I realized that consciously. So it made me, why it gave me so much peace is because whether or not there's a whole different set of responsibilities, which there definitely are at that point, it was the process that was worth it, kind of thing. The reward is worth that risk, kind of vibe. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, these are some things going through my mind. And also, one thing for sure for me is that I've always associated valuable companies with value being brought to society. And then that goes on to a personal level of value of self. And so it's obviously extremely important to have self-worth intrinsically. So basically, you are worth something from the inside out. You don't need external things like materialistic things like a car, like a house, like a woman, or partner, whatever. You don't need those things, or even friends, like you can add that as well, and family and all that stuff. You don't need those to feel valued, because you have that self-value kind of worth thing, which often comes with spirituality. And then there's the external value, which is the value that comes from what you give to the world and its effect, its impact. So impact. And the idea is that your external value is the impact you bring to the world. And if you build $1 billion company, that is meaning or validation that you are putting a very powerful impact out in the world that is of value. So yeah, there's that as well that goes through my mind. Crazy stuff.